Hey Shackers, welcome back to a new year of This Week at Switch 2. I'm your host, Asif Khan. I'm CEO, Editor-in-Chief, EIEIO here at Shacknews. That stands for Extremely Intelligent Extreme Intelligence Officer. In a time where the AI bubble is inflating and bursting every other day, I have created EI to make line go up. Line continues to go up here at Shacknews. I am joined by my co-hosts. We have news editor Donovan Erskine here.
What's up?
Hey, I like your Critical Role shirt.
Thank you.
And head of long reads and managing editor at Shacknews now. David Craddock is here.
Yes.
That's like being the Intercontinental Champion and the Tag Team Champion.
I know I'm pulling double duty on this podcast just by virtue of being here. How
Wow.
about
How about that?
that?
So yeah, Dave's got a new title. Don't worry, Bill's still around. Bill has a new title
He
too.
is.
But yeah, congratulations. Looking forward to you managing editorial here. And obviously, I'm still EIC, so I get to chime in on all these fun things.
Right.
But I'm also CEO, so I'm doing a lot more CEO stuff this year. Uh, Not just wearing a wig and hitting a gavel, which is what most people saw me doing on our YouTube channel over
Yeah.
break. If you haven't, I hope you guys checked out our Shacknews Awards. We did a lot of great deliberation videos where kind of gave you a behind the scenes look at how we argue about what's the best game. Everyone makes impassioned cases for the different categories, and then we vote. You see people they go into a deliberation with one game in mind, and then they come out with another one, namely Sam Chandler, almost
I was
every
gonna
single
say
time.
Sam.
Uh,
Yeah.
but yeah, so if you missed that stuff, please go check out our videos. We also have articles. We have a top 10 video for our top 10 games of the year. We have a top 25 indie games of the year 2025 and a top 25 games of the year 2025 articles on our front page. So check those out. Lots of great games. And yeah, even if they didn't win the awards, the games that were nominated in the various categories are worth checking out for sure. Uh, Even the honorable mentions. I feel like we say this every year, but man, last year was an amazing year for video games.
Oh yeah.
Shout out to Dispatch, which won our game of the year.
And it's coming to Switch 2 this month.
Which I said at the end of last episode, I was like, hey, ad hoc. And it was like within a day they announced it. So, hey, Nintendo, put out an F-Zero game. So, next week I'll be right about that, right?
Right.
So yeah, this is it. The final Doug Bowser alert. Doug Bowser, there is no more Reign of Terror. He has officially retired. December 31st was his last day at Nintendo of America. He posted a video, or not a video, a picture of him and his granddaughter skiing, and he's like, "This is why I retired." So,
That's
shout
nice.
out, Doug. Happy that you're enjoying life as a retired citizen. And yeah, we salute you, buddy.
I like this picture of the little stitched Bowser plush like leaving his office. He like held it up to the door and you could see like the Bowser poster. Just like
Hmm.
a little final thank you tweet. Thought
He
that was cool.
also posted a tweet, I believe it was in Portuguese or Spanish, directed to Nintendo Latin America, which I
Hmm.
mentioned last episode. He was very large in pushing for localization there and affordability in that region. So reaching out to influencers in Brazil and South America, and also expanding Nintendo's brand down there. So I just wanted to point out that Doug did shout out specifically Nintendo Latin America as well. And it's important to
Hmm.
note that there is no like CEO or president of Nintendo Latin America. Nintendo of America does include South America too, and I think he deserves a lot of credit for the work he did there. Uh, but yeah, we salute you, Doug. And now we will talk directly to whoever is watching from Nintendo. That ninja, welcome back. We're here. This podcast was born out of reviewing the Switch 2 and reviewing Mario Kart World. But now I've done both those things. We still think Switch 2 is a big story. We like this podcast. People seem to like the podcast, so we're going to keep doing the podcast. Let's get into it.
Yeah.
We got a Mario Tennis Fever overview trailer, guys. Are you guys Mario Tennis fans?
Yeah. Yes. I think it's closer to the top of the Mario sports games for me. I think if it's not my one, it's like maybe my two. They're fun. I know the Switch One Mario Sports games took a lot of flack, but I think Mario Tennis Aces is probably the best of that crop on that generation. This one looks fun. Looks very like content stuffed, I think, compared to recent Mario Sports games.
I agree with your comment on Aces. I thought Aces was extremely well made. I liked their power shot mechanic and stuff. It was like Mario going Super Saiyan at times. Like all that stuff was really cool.
Yeah.
Um, I guess we have the revelation of Baby Luigi in this. Now, I have a question about
Baby,
like Baby Luigi
Baby
exists.
Waluigi.
Oh yeah, Baby Waluigi. Sorry,
Yeah.
we knew about Baby Luigi, but Baby Waluigi exists. So I have a question: is this the baby version of Waluigi, or has Waluigi procreated?
No. No, that is as likely as a Super Mario Galaxy 3. No.
Oh,
So Waluigi has not procreated, is what we're saying. This is just
That's what I'm saying.
okay. Got it. Now I still think Mario Galaxy 3 is going to happen. We have a taco bet outstanding. And by the way, Donovan now owes me 10 tacos because the Baltimore Ravens did not make the playoffs, did not win the AFC North. So I don't have to buy him a pizza. He owes me 10 tacos. I just want everyone on the podcast listening out there and David, who was there to witness the original bet, to know that Donovan owes me 10 tacos. But yes, there is an outstanding taco bet about the Super Mario Galaxy 3 game being made. And I'm still holding out for a hero there. Because I would love to see it. I think that franchise deserves a third entry. But yeah, back to Mario Tennis Fever. Donovan, you're right. This is packed with stuff. There's like
yeah.
an adventure mode. There's extra. There's like this court mode where when you land in different places, it makes the court expand.
Yeah, they have a bunch of different game modes for this, and it seems like the core new feature is like the Fever rackets, which I believe they said there are 30 of. Um, yeah, over 30 Fever rackets in total. Looks like some you like unlock through playing certain modes, but they all do different things, right? Where there's like the fire racket that'll make the ball like a meteor and it'll like burn people if it hits them. But then there's like the freeze racket that'll like put a patch of ice on the field, and if you hit it, it's like you slide around, you lose your footing. But then it gets like
Did you see
really
the thing
weird
about
'cause-
volleying though? If you volley
you
the
can send it
ball
back.
back before it hits the ground, it keeps that fever mechanic still going.
Yeah.
So it's like I could see these crazy rallies where people like try to keep the ball in the air, you know. So it's like, oh, you have the fire racket, but then I volley it back to you, and then you volley it back to me. Like I can see this getting really crazy, and I think that mechanic is going to prevent it from being like OP.
Yeah, I'm curious to see how that if there becomes like a meta, right? Where people are just like, okay, the pokey racket's just the best one because that's the one where like if it hits the ground, it spawns one of the pokies up. Like,
Yeah.
it's gonna be interesting. They did though call out during the overview trailer. I think they just call it, like standard rules or classic rules is the name. You can play a non-fever racket mode, and they even called out that like, hey, this is just straight up tennis, and there's even like new defensive and offensive maneuvers like when you slide and do all that.
There was
so that
also
interesting.
a racket that made Bowser like super fast.
Yes,
I was
that's
like-
what we saw them slide
Like
around.
the dash racket or whatever. I was like, that's cool because like I like Bowser, but he is slow as shit in this game, in these games. So it's like he's a great server, but if you get that, like I could see these combos, right? Where you get a certain fever racket with a certain character. I can't wait to see what this meta turns into. It's gonna be interesting.
They showed there's going to be a ranked mode, so I'm curious if ranked will use fever rackets or be standard rackets. And they called out some of the other game modes. They have tournament, which is classic, trial tower, ring shot, and then wonder court, which was I think what you were calling it, also, where there's like different court effects, right? Where like you start on a small field, and then every time it hits the ground, it expands the court out. Yeah,
It just seems like more games need wonder mechanics. Like wonder mechanics were really cool in Super Mario Bros. Wonder. Like I wanted them in Mario Kart World, but like we didn't really get them. This is a good place to start. Imagine like a Mario Golf with wonder mechanics. Like that would be really cool.
yeah.
So yeah, I hope this is the beginning of something. They'd said it's like 38 characters. They had already previously announced that, but like people were like, "Oh, that's a lot of characters." I'm curious. So Waluigi has never gotten laid, is what we're determining here.
No, I have a sneaky suspicion that the adventure mode, which is the story in this game, is going to be weird as all hell. Because I think when they announced it, we were all like, "Oh, there's like a narrative campaign in this Mario Tennis game," and now there's like a Baby Waluigi situation. It looks like they're doing time travel. It's going to be weird. It's going to be one of them ones.
And like Donkey Kong was stuck babysitting all these kids. Like it's
Yeah.
just, I'm interested to see where this goes for sure.
This game's doing game share too, with similar to how Donkey Kong Bonanza did it, where it's a Switch 2 game, but you can game share it back to a Switch 1 locally, and it's like 4-player matches, but if one person has it, and you got 4 people in a room with the Switch of any variety, you can all play it, which is cool.
Very Nintendo DS of them, and I like that that's continuing here. I have a little story about I think it was the first or second E3 I ever went to. Maybe it was the first one. Mario Tennis was featured. And this was the first Mario Tennis, guys. This is on the N64, David. And it was the same year that Conker's Bad Fur Day was at the booth. And this is how different times were. There was a bar.
Oh, yeah.
In the Nintendo E3 booth. A bar. In the Nintendo E3 booth for Conker's Bad Fur Day. So you could bounce between the bar and Mario Tennis. And my outlet at the time, TendoBox.com, we did that. And let's just say we're pretty rowdy. It was like winter stays on, right, at the Mario Tennis area. So it was me and my friend, who was EIC of TendoBox at the time. We dominated the Mario Tennis kiosk. So they had to kick us off because we just kept winning. I tend to be a Luigi main in these games. I enjoy playing as Luigi. He's a little bit taller than Mario, so he's got that overhead shot. But yeah, we just ran roughshod at the E3 booth that year. But man, how different! Like E3 doesn't even exist anymore. But the idea of like there being a bar,
I know,
at a booth, like at a convention, and they weren't carding, by the way, like at all, which seems dangerous, especially when I was not 21.
Times they have changed.
Boy, howdy have they, man. But yeah, it's just whenever I think of Mario Tennis, I have that fond memory of my first E3. And, I was working for a Nintendo-focused site at the time, so we were just at the Nintendo booth, getting, over-the-shoulder footage because there were no capture cards, and it was a very different time. There were a lot of booth attendants, those days. But yeah, can't wait for a new Mario Tennis. I think it's interesting, though, like, we're never getting a new Mario Baseball game, are we? Like, it's been way too long.
Forget that. I want a new Mario basketball game. I'm still enjoying 3-on-3 from DS. That was a great game. I would play more of that. It doesn't even have to be 3-on-3. Just give me, I don't know, Mario plays horse. Like I'll take it.
Yeah, I'll talk about that in the what we've been playing over break thing, but I did see a Nintendo basketball game over break on the Switch too, and it just made me sad more than anything. But yeah, I agree. Like I want more Mario sports games. Seems like
it feels like it feels almost like a crime that we might not get a Mario baseball game in the era of like Shohei Ohtani being like the best baseball player of the century, and you got Yoshinobu Yamamoto on that same team. Like there are some Japanese players like running the MLB right now, and you would think they'd be like a cool tie-in there would be.
Yeah, and he's everywhere. Like everywhere you go in Japan, you see Shohei Ohtani. He's selling you tea. Yeah. He's at the New Balance store. He has a whole line, a signature line of New Balance stuff, like or Under Armour. I can't remember what brand it was, but like he's everywhere. And yeah, like Japan loves baseball, so I'm just kind of like, what do you?
I mean, a Seattle Mariners player just set their team's home run record. Cal Raleigh just had like a great year. I just feel like there's a lot of obvious avenues for Nintendo to capitalize on.
They had that. They had the jersey patch for Switch 2 last year.
Yeah.
So it's like Nintendo, what are you doing, man? But look, I'm all for this. I think you're right that Mario Tennis, even in its off releases, is still one of the best sports titles that they have in this franchise of Mario Sports. But man, like, I would like to see more Mario Sports games, I guess is all I'm saying. But yeah, we got some news about a game that's never gonna come to Switch 2, guys. And it made me sad because I was kind of like, when I first tried the mouse gameplay on the Switch 2, I was like, it would be cool. Baldur's Gate 3. Well, forget that. That is never happening. Sven Vinke, the CEO of Larian Studios, said, yeah, we'd like to do that, but it's not our decision. Which seems to imply Hasbro.
Yeah. Who is the IP holder of Baldur's Gate the IP holder of Dungeons and Dragons, which is what Baldur's Gate comes from. Yeah, this was a Reddit Q&A. A bunch of different Larian devs were doing, and yeah, someone just straight up asked, "Switch to Baldur's Gate 3, is it happening?" And Swen's comment, as quoted, is, "We would have loved to, but it wasn't our decision to make," which means it could have only been two other parties, Nintendo or Hasbro. We know it couldn't be Nintendo because they're putting Larian games on Switch too. And Hasbro has been notoriously annoying when it comes to their IP, Wizards of the Coast, Dungeons and Dragons, Magic the Gathering. There was even another comment in the same Q&A where they asked Larian about Divinity and the scale of it, because after Baldur's Gate 3, they said that their next game would be a little smaller. Then they announced Divinity, and they were like, "Oh, this is gonna be our biggest game yet." And somebody was like, "Well, wait, what happened to that small project?" And I forget which dev it was, but they said something to the effect of, "Oh, that was back when we were planning to do another D&D game, but that ship has long sailed." Which again, it's like, I don't know what these conversations or meetings look like, but how Hasbro has like parlayed the success of Baldur's Gate 3 is beyond me. I don't know how you don't go to Larian and just give them the biggest blank check in the history of like video games. Just say, please, anything else you want to do with our IP, like you have full carte blanche. I don't know how they messed that up, but it seems Larian has firmly moved on.
That makes me a sad panda.
Same.
But hey, they did also imply that the new Divinity game will probably come to Switch 2 eventually, and we are getting Divinity. It's already out, right? They shadow dropped Divinity Original Sin 2 on Switch 2. So Larian cares about the Switch 2 fans and the Switch fans, but unfortunately, Baldur's Gate 3 is probably never going to show up on Switch 2, which means I should finally complete my playthrough on PC, which is a great place to play it. And I have a badass PC now, so I should just finally do it. I get frustrated with the roll of the dice, Donovan. It is.
Oh, do you? Yeah, it's tough. It's interesting. Again, it's a great Q&A. Anyone who likes Baldur's Gate 3 or even the Divinity games, I urge you to read through their r/games Q&A, because they had another comment that kind of jumps off of that, Asif, where they said that one of the biggest lessons they learned from Baldur's Gate 3 that they want to take into Divinity is making failure more like fun and viable, because people save scum all hell out of Baldur's Gate 3. It's like a running joke in the community where people have like they post screenshots and it's like 300 quick saves because no one wants to fail the roll to persuade a character to do a thing or whatever. So you're definitely not alone in that. It is frustrating.
No, and look, I know it's part of the game and it's part of RPGs in general, but it is like, I think on console it just felt crappier. That like I was at the time I was playing BG3 on PS5 because my PC wasn't good enough. But now I'm like, yeah, I should. This is confirmation I should just play it on PC. Is kind of my takeaway from it. I think
I fell back in over break. That game is amazing.
Yeah, it's an outstanding game, and the amount of systems that interact with each other are crazy. So yeah, I this is just confirmation that I need to just go play it on the PC. It's fine on console, but I was hopeful that, the mouse gameplay on the Switch 2 would kind of lend perfectly to that. But yeah, alas, we'll never get to see that. But we will get to see whatever the hell that Divinity game that's coming out. That game looked crazy as hell. The reveal trailer at the Game Awards. So we will get to see that eventually on Switch 2. We got a couple demos announced for the Switch 2, kind of over the last week. Reanimal, I believe at the time of this recording, we're recording this on January 13th. Reanimal got a demo on the Switch 2 eShop, and Dragon Quest VII Reimagined, Donovan, got a demo. Square Enix is continuing this trend of progress carrying forward from the demo to the final version if you end up buying the game, so don't worry if you're like, oh, I'm wasting time playing the demo. You're not.
This demo is so good. There's a good chance that this will be the first game I like open our internal spreadsheet to pencil in like a nominee for best like remake, and maybe even art style too, because it's beautiful. We're coming off of like the original trilogy remix, which all did the like Octopath 2D HD art style. This one's just pure 3D. God damn, does it look good. The lighting, the models, they did that thing where they created like the toy figurines and then scanned them into the game. All the like battle scenes are just like, they have like a depth to them that's just so cool to look at. It's a gorgeous looking game, and it's just a much more enjoyable way to play Dragon Quest VII, which is a bit of a rugged game in the series, but holy hell, if the full game is as good as the demo, it's going to be a contender.
Dude, I'm just happy Square has like kind of gone all in on Nintendo. Like they're like, people like playing our games on Nintendo systems. Let's release all of them. So yeah, we have the upcoming release of Intergrade, the FF7 port. But yeah, it's good to see so many Square Enix RPGs coming to the Switch 2 day and date. No longer this double dip stuff. Like we're getting them launching simultaneously, and I think Square is going to show financially that it's benefiting them. Like going exclusive with PlayStation kind of hurt them in the last generation, and I think this is a good thing for a third-party developer to do. Speaking of RPGs, we got a Fire Emblem game coming to the GameCube app, everybody.
Path of the Radiance, so yeah.
Drip drop.
This one's significant because I think the resale aspect of it, I saw a lot of people calling this out. The like Fire Emblem Path of the Radiance is like one of those games that's just like $300 on eBay. The resellers just cornered the market on that game specifically. So anybody who wanted to play it had to either emulate or buy it for like 350% of its value. So this is kind of was a huge hit to that market. Anytime resellers take a hit, I'm always happy to see.
So this is a little tangent, but it applies to Nintendo Switch Online and this ecosystem of different apps, right? So you have the GameCube app, you have soon a Virtual Boy app, right? I went to Super Potato in Nagoya, Japan. I didn't go to Akihabara while I was in Japan because it's kind of become a tourist trap and the prices are very high there. But they had a functional Virtual Boy kiosk that people could play Virtual Boy games at. And I'm talking about the OG Virtual Boy. They also had a Virtual Boy in the box for sale. What do you guys think a Virtual Boy goes for in Japan right now? You can guess in US dollars. What do you think it would cost to buy a Virtual Boy?
I'll say 300.
Donovan?
Your eyes went wide when you said that. I'm gonna guess 200.
$750.
Ooh,
that's absurd.
Who's buying that?
Apparently no one. It was on the shelf when I was there. But like, I was just like, what? So like, as dumb as this Nintendo Switch Online Virtual Boy app is, and the cardboard version and the plastic version, it's still cheaper than whatever the hell the resale price is on these. And why I bring it up, Diamond, is because your point about Fire Emblem, it wasn't a banger seller on the GameCube. And the GameCube had games that like barely sold 1 million units or even a few 100,000. So it's the scarcity of some of these games that are leading to these price inflations that we're seeing in the used and collectible market. And I think Nintendo is doing a service to the community by putting this game out. At least like from a game preservation standpoint, but also like, hey, it's way cheaper to play this game this way than to buy a $300 GameCube disc. Like, that's insane.
Yeah.
And yeah, you would have to get your head checked if you're buying a Virtual Boy for $750. You can literally buy an a MetaQuest 3 for like $350. You can buy 2 of those for the price of a Virtual Boy. Like, anyway. So yeah, I'm glad they did this. I'm not going to be falling over myself to play this. The GameCube app has kind of been a fail for me so far. I have not really, outside of Soul Calibur 2, I haven't really like fallen over myself. I guess Mario Strikers, but like nothing has had like staying power for me. I guess that's true of most of the Switch Online games.
Yeah, I would say the NES and the SNES apps are pretty good. But yeah, the GameCube app, as a huge fan of that console, I haven't been a fan of it as well. They're just missing so many games. I still am kind of annoyed that we got the GameCube Wind Waker instead of the Wii U Wind Waker HD. And yeah, like I'd love to see more titles added to this because I upped my Nintendo Switch Online subscription to the expansion pack specifically for this app, just that, because the hype trailer for it got me hyped. It worked, and so far I haven't been satisfied with it.
And I know like this isn't a show where we're like, hey, go emulate these games. But Dolphin has existed for a very long time, And the ROMs on Dolphin are so much better optimized than some of the games that are coming out on this GameCube app that it's like hard to ignore that like the F-Zero GX community, for example, has made a much better version of that game than what's available on the F-Zero GX Nintendo Switch Online game. And that sucks. Like, that's just a shitty feeling because there's input latency.
I was going to say, yeah, like Soul Calibur 2 on Dolphin looks close to a modern fighting game. Like, it's ridiculous.
Yeah.
And, you know, there's a lot of reason to go that route over waiting for Nintendo to drip drop GameCube games onto this app.
Drip dropping GameCube games that have inconsistent frame data and like it's just not the same experience as even just playing the actual game on the disc on the hardware. That's what I'm complaining about more than Dolphin's out there. It's just that Dolphin's doing a better job emulating than they are.
Yeah.
And it's like, come on, guys, you can do better. But I agree, Dom, and it is good that I hope they continue to do this on all the platforms. Because, like, I was when I was in Japan, I saw this. There's like a Mighty Morphin Power Rangers game for SNES. It was like on sale for $300. Like, it was the cartridge in a box, like in the original plastic. $300 for a freaking SNES game. Like, I'm like, just release that on Switch Online. And to your point, David, you're right. Like, I do go back and play like NES Tetris and like Super Metroid, like the games that are on SNES Online and even N64 Online. F-Zero X was like probably one of my most played games in the entire history of the Switch Online service.
Yeah.
So yeah, it is a case-by-case thing. But so far, GameCube hasn't got its hooks into me, and it should have by now. Because I fucking love the GameCube. Like, it's one of my favorite systems ever. But yeah, it's an interesting point that you made, though, Donovan. I had to give a few additional anecdotes about my travels overseas, which we'll get to a little bit later as well. Over break, CD Projekt Red accidentally put Cyberpunk 2077 on sale for $17 on the eShop, and Wario64 tweeted it, which means hundreds of thousands of people probably ran to the eShop to buy it. Look, we gave it our Best Switch 2 Port of the Year award at the Shacknews Awards. We think CD Projekt Red did an amazing job with that port. Getting that for $17 is a steal.
75% off during the Switch Winter Sale. People were immediately like, there's no way this is intended, right? And it wasn't.
It wasn't. But good on CD Projekt Red for at least they didn't revert any of those sales. They said, look, it was a mistake. You guys got it. We're not going to screw you guys over. So that was cool on them to do that.
Mm-hmm. Yep. They said it was a result of an error they made when submitting the discount. They corrected it. Purchases that made it the previous discount rate are unaffected by this change. People were worried there was going to be like a rescinding of purchase. We've seen this happen on like Steam and stuff where games just straight up get yanked out of your library for one reason or another. So
yeah,
easy kind of brownie points for CDPR over the holiday break. A bunch of people got Cyberpunk for $17.
Not a bad deal. I bought that game twice. I have it digitally and I have it
bought it twice, yeah.
I have it in the cartridge plastic. Like it's the only only cartridge.
Bought it on Switch twice, yeah.
Yeah, I bought it on Switch 2 twice. So I have the digital version and I have the cartridge version, just because it might go down as the one good cartridge on that whole system from a third-party developer. But yeah, those are some of the bigger news hits kind of surrounding the Switch 2 ecosystem. We had a very interesting interview with Shuntaro Furukawa that appeared over the weekend, guys. This is the president of Nintendo over there at NCL in Japan. Go Nintendo reported this, but it's with the help of a Blue Sky account called Nintendo Patents Watch, a website called Universo Nintendo, and a local newspaper in Kyoto, the Kyoto Shimbun. So this was an interview that Furukawa did with the local newspaper in Kyoto where Nintendo is based, right? And a few interesting tidbits came out of this. One of the first ones, which is like, slap your forehead, duh. Hey guys, Nintendo is going to make games this year.
What?
And some of those games, David, may be based on popular franchises.
What?
Some games might be new.
Holy shit.
I know. Tangential to this, I saw a rumor that ARMS 2 might release this year.
Okay, well.
I know one guy at Gollin Harris who is really excited about this news. But, like, Eddie over at Gollin, man, that dude's got like 3,000 hours in the game. He might be the greatest ARMS player on Earth. But, like, that's kind of interesting. I don't know why people ran with that story out of all the things here that I'm going to list is kind of silly. Of course Nintendo's making games. And of course they're going to make popular franchises into video games. So yeah, water is wet, sky is blue, Nintendo's making video games. He did mention there's this talk about global supply of Switch 2. He said that global supply has stabilized except for in Japan, where a little more time is needed. Every single Nintendo launch, up until this point, has been met with shortages and then scalping, right? You saw it with the original Switch. You saw it with the Wii. Maybe not the Wii U. But like you've seen scalping around launch. This is the first Nintendo's launch that I don't think I've ever seen anyone complaining about scalping. So it's like a double-edged sword, because it didn't become oh man, people are falling over themselves at Walmart to buy this thing. But at the same time, like, no one got stabbed in a parking lot over a Switch 2 over the holidays. Like, it's a good thing that I think they flooded the market with Switch 2s. That led to all sorts of discounts over the holiday break. We saw the Mario Kart bundle got a discounted $50, which, by the way, they announced that thing's going away. They're done making Switch 2 Mario Kart World bundles. So there was your opportunity to buy the Switch 2 and Mario Kart World for $450 in America. Kind of seemed like a pretty sweet deal in my opinion. But so I think it's interesting. They said that Switch 2 supply is stable, which that seems like a good thing, right?
Yeah.
He said that Nintendo wants to make Switch 2 an accommodating, generous, and forgiving piece of hardware for third-party developers. So,
forgiving? What does that mean?
I don't know. But I think it's interesting that like they're mindful that some third parties are struggling with porting games over to this thing, and I think that's kind of what he's getting at. He says this approach will help realize first and third party dev ideas. So I think that's just a poor translation of them saying we're going to try to get more dev kits out the door, because that was a problem early on last year, was that there weren't enough dev kits, and that led to that roulette when it came to third-party games.
That makes sense then.
He said there are certain people who are picking up their first console at a certain age, and Nintendo wants to make sure that Switch 2 is accessible to them. I think he's kind of talking about price there, but also just like that they want your first console to be a Nintendo console if you're a kid or like a young adult. Which, sure, that was my first technically, I was born into an Atari household, David.
Yeah, my aunt for my birthday one year got me an Atari 2600 Junior with like 4 games. So that was technically my first console too.
Yeah, but like the first one that like I asked for was an NES.
Yeah.
So I understand what he's saying there. Here's the one that I thought was interesting. The current memory price has no immediate impact on Nintendo's financial performance. According to everyone on Twitter, this is a lie. Because the stock has dropped over 30% from its all-time high that was reached last year. Everyone thinks Switch 2 is going up in price, which he actually addressed also. I good on this reporter at the Kyoto newspaper asking these questions. Concerning the potential for a price increase on products, Furukawa said, "I cannot comment on hypotheticals," which is a very PR-laden response, but also, if they were imminent, you would think he would say something, right?
Yeah.
So And based on this other thing about making it accommodating and trying to get it to be your first purchase, I feel like Nintendo's going to do everything in their power to not increase the price of the Switch 2. Maybe everything else will go up in price. Maybe even Switch Online will go up in price. But, like, I think they're going to try to keep the Switch 2 where it is. Like, they're going to try. We'll see if they can. I mentioned it last episode how their supply chain arrangements tend to be a year to 18 months in duration of contracts. So if there is a price increase coming, it's probably not going to happen in the next 3 months. So stay tuned. Nintendo reports on their financial results on February 3rd, 2026. That'll be their Christmas quarter, which includes Pokemon. So we'll hear a whole quarter of Pokemon sales down and a whole quarter of the Pokemon bundle sales. People act like the Pokemon bundle never happened. Like, because I haven't seen one in the wild, like, in months. I don't know if you guys have.
I don't know.
Like, I heard a lot about the Mario Kart World bundle being discounted. Didn't hear a single soul on Earth talk about the Pokemon bundle being discounted. Ever. So, just a little bit of interesting tidbits there. He talked about anime. Like, they asked him about, like, do you think anime would be a thing? He said, if we can create something that uniquely works for Nintendo, it would be good in the future. So, maybe? They also said, he said that Nintendo's focus on movies, Dom, is not for short-term profits, it's for character exposure. It's that blue ocean, right? They're trying to introduce everyone to their franchises, which leads me to, once again, ask for a Metroid movie.
Yeah.
Because
got to be in there somewhere.
Samus needs more love, and a Metroid movie would be awesome. He wants to build up excitement leading to the Super Mario Galaxy movie. Duh. Who doesn't? Isn't it time, Donovan? We were talking about this before we went live. Like, before we started recording. Like, it's time. They need to start hyping up this movie.
Yeah, it's coming out in April. We're in mid-January. This is trailer time.
This is trailer time. This is start dragging Jack Black and Chris Pratt out to Jimmy Fallon time. Like, it's time.
Yeah.
We need vertical videos with all these people talking about the movie. So it's time. People are acting like this movie's not even coming out the way the stock's trading. Yeah, I mentioned how they're gonna keep making video games. And yeah, like, they asked about the Zelda movie. Obviously, Nintendo's focused on the Mario movie right now. But I imagine after the Mario movie launches and does well, we'll start to hear more about the Zelda movie, which I am very excited for. Because Zelda. But yeah, those were kind of the highlights there. The stock went down. Like, I don't know how you can, like, you read that where he says memory prices are not impacting our financial results, and then you turn around and you sell the stock on that news. That just seems a little crazy to me, but whatever. If you're a patient investor, I think there's a buying opportunity here. I talked about in the last episode, I have now bought 3 chunks of Nintendo stock since I mentioned how I thought it was compelling from a long-term perspective. So I tend to work on 5-year projections, 10-year projections on where I think a stock is going, if I'm going to hold it or not. And as the stock goes lower, I find the risk reward to become more compelling based on my internal targets. So here at 1562 at the time of recording per share on the NTDOY ADR, I find this to be a very compelling stock. I'm buying here. It's not financial advice, just saying what I'm doing. Find it very interesting. And I'll get into what I saw when I was in Japan that kind of leads me to be even more confident about this. So yeah. Let's talk about what I want to talk about what I saw in Japan first, and then we'll talk about what we played over break. So I went to Japan for 2 weeks. It's my first vacation in like 5 years, 6 years, maybe longer. I did not produce a video, guys, for 2 weeks.
It's crazy.
It felt so good. I took like an actual break from the internet. I did do like David, you saw it, the Canton, Ohio fun fact.
I saw that.
But I also was messaging you while I was filming it. I like speed ran Canton, Ohio. Like I shot all these videos the week before I left on vacation, and I scheduled them out. So the people who like my daily videos about the weather in Canton, they still had something every day. But everything that you saw over those 2 weeks was scheduled by me. So I actually took 2 days off or 2 weeks off of the internet. I barely posted on social media. I updated our Year of the Games article on Shacknews, but that was it. Like I wasn't actively creating content. Boy, was that fun. But I actually went to Japan and had a good time, and I went to a few places. So I landed in Tokyo. I spent the first 4 days I was in Japan in Tokyo. I went to the Pokemon Center, Donovan, in Tokyo.
Yeah.
I checked in on Pokemon Go, which was really cool. But I also got to see something. That Pokemon franchise seems pretty popular, Donovan.
It sure does, doesn't it?
I saw a wall, like a cylindrical wall of plushies. I have never seen more plushies in my life than at the Pokemon Center. At different sizes of plushies, different generations. There are, 1,000 Pokemon in the decks right now? And
and they've stated their intention to make at least one plushie for every Pokemon in existence. So, yeah.
So, I was visiting my friends there. They have a 6 and 11-year-old daughters. Those are my like de facto nieces, like I'm Uncle Asif, right? But I'm not like by blood or whatever. So, being Uncle Asif, I had to be the good uncle and get them some Christmas presents. So I got a Totodile and I got like the Mega Charizard plushie. That's the other thing, Diamond. Like they got plushies not just for Charizard or Charmander. It's like every evolution, right?
Yep.
So it's like there are going to be thousands of plushies. What I found interesting, there was no way to buy a card in the store. You could only buy cards at the checkout counter. And they were limiting it to 10 packs per person per day. This is in Tokyo. I was just like, whoa. So of course I bought the 10 packs for them. They went ape shit. Like girls like love Pokemon cards. Everyone there is addicted to Pokemon cards. It is like 1990s all over again. I was like, what the fuck am I looking at here? It was a 2-hour wait to check out at the Pokemon Center. Like,
yeah,
2 hours. And people were just waiting. People would get in that line just to buy the cards. And they would come back the next day just to buy 10 more packs. So,
yep.
I think this Pokemon company might be onto something, you guys. And it's their 30th anniversary this year. So,
they already started rolling announcements out. They've updated their profile pictures. It's Pikachu with the 3-0 on his cheeks now.
But also Chonky. Chonky Pikachu is back.
Chonky Pikachu is back. Yeah, they're doing... Pokemon Day is the end of February. They're going to do a Pokemon Presents. They're going to announce the Gen 10 games. It's going to be a big deal. Yeah, it's going to be a huge year for Pokemon.
But yeah, I was a hit as Uncle Asif. I got them cards. I got them like card pack holders and like some cool... I got them like these hair bands. One of them got a Jigglypuff one. One of them got a Pikachu one. So I crushed it for Christmas at the Pokemon Center. But man, it was packed, dude. So I went to another Pokemon Center in Nagoya. You couldn't even go in. You had to get an appointment to go into the store. Like 3 hours in advance. You're like, I am going to register to be able to go into the store at 6 p.m. We're like, we don't have time for this. But like, appointments to shop at a store. Like,
yeah.
So on the one hand, Nintendo is doomed, right? Like, completely fucked. On the other hand, they're still selling Hanafuda cards, David. Still.
Yeah.
That 1889. That's when they started selling these cards. And now,
yeah,
they're still selling fucking cards. Like,
I love that though. I love that.
No, it's awesome.
You know?
It's awesome. But like, it's so crazy to me because I'm like, I don't give a fuck about Pokemon cards. I super don't give a fuck. Like, at all. Like, I really don't. I'm like, whatever. It's cool. But, like, I'm not going to fight someone in a Target parking lot for a pack or a booster pack. You know, like, so like, as someone who doesn't really care personally about these things, seeing how fervent the demand was, I was like, how can these two things be happening simultaneously? Where Nintendo's stock is doomed, and yet people are falling over themselves to give them money. Like, I know the Pokemon company is only 30% owned by Nintendo, but, like, it's a Nintendo IP. It's not first party, but it's like second party.
Yeah.
So anyway, that was just the first thing I saw. I went to the Kirby Cafe, which I got a very cool keychain, you guys. I got Kirby. I got a little Kirby keychain here.
Nice.
It's like a gingerbread one. But yeah, I got Kirby on my keychain now. But yeah, like we talked about how Superstar became Nintendo Stars last year, like the whole merch effort. Kirby is still ridiculously popular in Japan. I saw Kirby Air Riders, like ads, like display ads on the subway and stuff. Like, it's popular. Kirby's still popular. There's a pop-up shop now in Tokyo Station. It's called, like, the Kirby Cafe, like, Mini or something. It's not as big as, like, the other one that's at Skytree. But yeah, standing room only. People are going crazy for Kirby merch. And there's also like all these different like Kirby pastries and stuff. So like there's like a Chef Kirby and like all sorts of cool stuff at that store. People were falling over themselves there as well. There were like third-party stores also selling Pokemon cards, like crazy. The demand for this stuff was off the charts. So I finally I leave Tokyo. I go to this place called Karuizawa, which is like a mountain town, 80-minute train ride from Tokyo Station via a high-speed train. And we have Christmas over there. And, you know, I give the kids their presents and stuff. And I put my Switch dock, you know, on the TV in the living room. We got an Airbnb. So it was just cool, like proper house. And they go through my library and they're like, "You have so many games." Like their eyes just, you know, because, you know, yes, I buy a lot of games. Also, I have my Switch 1 library and my Switch 2 library unified there. But also, I get a lot of keys from Nintendo and third parties and stuff. So I just have a ton of games. And they already knew about Pokemon Legends ZA. They knew about it. But they didn't know, they hadn't played the game yet. They hadn't seen it yet. So the 6-year-old is like, "I want to play Pokemon Legends." And I'm like, okay. It's kind of hard, but okay. She fires it up. And I'm like walking her through the gameplay mechanics, Donovan, which I also had to learn. This is the first time they've put real-time battle mechanics in this game. So she catches a Pichu within like the first 40 minutes of playing this game, which I hadn't caught Pichu in Zone 1, Donovan, because it's kind of a tricky one to catch.
Yeah, there's only one. It's behind that rock. You got to sneak up on it, or else it'll run away from you.
Yeah, so like she figured it out within 40 minutes. Like I was just cracking up because like understood how to throw the ball. Like these are complicated gameplay mechanics for a 6-year-old to understand, right? And within 40 minutes, she understood. Her big sister was like reading along with her and stuff, and they were just passing the controller back and forth. They became addicted to Pokemon Legends ZA like the first day. So every day we were there, it was like after they did their homework or whatever, like their schoolwork or whatever, Kumon, that was like the reward was playing Pokemon Legends ZA. So I didn't really play much Pokemon Legends ZA, but I watched a lot of Pokemon Legends ZA be played. And it was funny watching it from a kid's perspective because they didn't give a fuck about the story, Donovan. It was just about going to wild zones to collect Pokemon. That was it. And the thing that I found fascinating is something I kept messaging you about during my playthrough. I'm like, what am I supposed to do against this Pokemon? I don't know weaknesses and strengths and all that. They knew all of that shit. And I'm like, how do you know this? And the girls pulled out their cards. And they're like, it says it on the cards. Like the strengths and the weaknesses of Pokemon. And I'm like, I'm like, oh. Maybe there's some value to this. But like it shows you like they actually sat there and read those cards and like retained the information. So like Like, you need to use a fire type here. Like, like, it was just so funny watching them. Like, I was watching their parents be like, how do you guys know this? And they're like, oh, it says it on the card. And they're like, oh. So it's really funny seeing them, figuring out how to capture Pokemon and weaknesses and strengths and stuff. They were afraid of the battle zone because it was at like nighttime.
Yeah.
I thought that was pretty funny. They're like, I don't want to go to the battle zone. Can you make it daytime again? I was just like cracking up. I'm like, okay, I'll sit on the bench. And then they learned that only some Pokemon only spawn at night. So they're like, can you make it nighttime so we can go get this Pokemon? But it was so funny, man. Like, it was just about wild zones and collecting Pokemon. That's all they cared about. So the young one, she was just very liberal with throwing her Pokeballs. Like, I was just like, okay, I went to the Pokemon Center and I was like, I'm going to buy 500 Pokeballs for you because you're going to just keep throwing them. But also, the ball guy will collect them or whatever, so it's not the end of the world. But yeah, they went ham playing that game. The game I ended up playing with them was Mario Kart World. The youngest one is obsessed with Mario Kart World. And it's like I said, she loves open world, the free roam in Mario Kart World, because she hates losing. So there's no lose condition there. And her whole thing was she just wanted to collect all the outfits. That's all she cared about, was collecting outfits. So it was fun. When you play split screen in Kart World, you have to like stay together, or else that whole Halo thing where if you're too far from each other, it like teleports you back together. So it became this meta of me having to chase this 6-year-old around the free roam, or else I would get teleported. But also she's like, I want to go to this place now. So she just pull up the map and fast travel and stuff. But it's funny, like, I got to watch this 6-year-old play Mario Kart World, and I was just hanging out with her, and like we're discovering outfits and stuff. But yeah, I watched her unlock more outfits for me in Mario Kart World, which I thought was hilarious. That's like her chill game. Like, she's like, I don't want to play Pokemon anymore. I'm going to play Mario Kart World. So yeah, those were the two hits with the kids there. And then, yeah, guys, I am hopelessly addicted to Ball Pit. Like,
yeah,
I rolled credits.
Damn.
It's crazy.
I've rolled credits on Ball Pit.
To me.
Yeah.
To do that, you have to beat the final level with 8 different characters.
Damn.
So I did that.
Lord.
I played Ball Pit. The flight over to Japan was like 14 hours, guys. I played Ball Pit for maybe 10 of those hours.
Holy. Well, there you go. You were thinking about your plane game. That was the one.
That it was, but it was also like my game at the end of the night when I was chilling out. The tabletop mode of the Switch 2 got a lot of work from me over break. It was the highlight of my whole time traveling. Like, I would just, when I was on the high-speed train, played Ball Pit. When I was on the plane, I played Ball Pit. But yeah, Ball Pit's the perfect game that you can like throw on a podcast while you're playing kind of game.
Yes.
Like, I had my iPad and my Switch 2 on the tray in front of me on the plane. But yeah, I played so much fucking Ball Pit, guys. I'm in New Game Plus now. I'm still playing it. I fucking love that game. It's crashed on me several times. I don't know if it's a combination of how fast things are going on the screen now, because like I've like min-maxed most of the characters. I built out my little city. I keep upgrading these. I have some buildings that you can infinitely upgrade now. So it's like strength and speed and all the like ball speed, like all these different things I'm like are getting very fast, and I'm playing it at 3x speed or whatever. So like I think I'm breaking my Switch 2 with it at times. Which is a little frustrating. Like, you kind of lose progress, you're playing the game for 10 minutes. Just craps out on you. It hasn't stopped me from playing. I am hopelessly addicted to Ball Pit, you guys. Like, this is bad. So bad that I have barely played F-Zero 99 during this event. Like,
so even though you rolled credits, you're still playing?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, God, yes. Like, I was like, yeah, that's fine and dandy. But, like, I want 100% this game. Like,
yeah.
I want to beat every level with every character. And there are some really cool characters, guys. There's, like, one... have you seen, like, Cogitator? He's, like, a philosopher. He auto-chooses for you. There's a character that it turns it into a turn-based. Have you seen that guy?
No,
Yeah,
that
there's
sounds cool.
turn-based ball pit is one of the gameplay methods. There's also a building that you can get where you combine two characters, right? So you can play them like next to each other. So like I did that for a lot of the game. But there's also that like there's a couple, right? There's like this one where it's like two characters. So I've been upgrading all those people. There's a there's like a Sisyphean character, which is just so appropriate for this game. There's like, you know, Sisyphus, the guy who was rolling up the rock and fall down the hill. He rolls up, the Greek, you know, story, mythology. But yeah, like there's a Sisyphean character. There's a character where the balls shoot from the top of the screen as opposed to the bottom. There's a character where the balls bounce off of the bottom instead of, coming back to you. This game's great. I fucking love this game. It's so good. It's like the perfect Switch 2 game.
I reached out to the developer about a long read, so hopefully we'll hear back.
That would be dope. I would like to tag team with that. I would feed you some questions at the very least. Yeah. But Devolver had a great year, man. Ball Pit and Skate Story, bangers. And I know Ball Pit sold extremely well, like over 3 million units or something. So, and I know we're getting an update from Ball Pit, so I cannot fucking wait. I'm like, give me more Ball Pit. Whatever the hell it is, I will play it. If it's more characters, by all means. I love it. I even figured out how to build the city builder part. I've even figured out that part.
Yep. Yeah.
But it's great. I can't sing its praises enough. But yeah, that was the game I played the most over break. What'd you guys play?
I was in an RPG mode all break. I played a lot of Octopath Traveler 0, and then the demo for Dragon Quest 7 Reimagined. Both enjoyed very thoroughly. Octopath is just great. It was one of my most anticipated games going into the year. My only regret is I wish it came out a little bit earlier so I could have played some more of it before end of the year, but that game's awesome. I think that they do the best you can with the whole like custom protagonist thing. The other Octopath games kind of all had set characters with, voice acting and storylines. This one, it's like your character who's kind of like the voiceless protagonist, but then all the characters around you have stories and narratives around them. I think this one's fun. I love the city builder aspect to it. Even your character building, where like you don't just customize your character, but like you get to pick their class from background. So you could be like a cleric or a warrior or an archer or a rogue, and then obviously you find characters who also have like those abilities, and then the way that you can like interact with almost every NPC in that game, where like you talk to people and it's like, do you want to try to like persuade this random shopkeep? And they'll be like, they'll just give you random information about the world, or they'll give you an item you didn't think they had, or they'll like offer to like join you in battle temporarily. You can call on them. This is not going to sound like a positive comparison, but I swear it is because I like this game. It's almost like the Watch Dogs Legion of Octopath games, where it's like, all right, the catch here is that like everybody's a playable character. Where like a random old man in front of like a fruit stall can like join you for a battle and like swing a sword for one attack, or it can like go back to your village and like be a citizen, and having him there will give you more lumber. So it's that kind of open idea of just talk to as many people as possible, which is already like a hallmark of those classic RPGs, right? Where you go to a town, you got to talk to every single character because there's going to be that one person that has a potion or a sword or a quest, and it feels really rewarding in that sense. And I'll forget this every time a new Octopath comes out, but goddamn, these games are dark. These games are really, really dark narratively. Just the like prologue of Octopath Traveler 0, I'm like, goodness, man. Okay, yeah, this is it's heavy stuff.
Yeah,
but good game.
I think what's different with this one, and I've only kind of played through the first few hours of it, but like the first two games were very much your protagonist tells the story. This is quite the opposite, where like the world tells the story more than your character. Yeah. Which I like, honestly. I think it leads to a more interesting world. But you're right, it's dark as fuck. There's a lot of bad people in that game. Fucked up shit happens.
Yeah. It's just it's funny because they're the same publisher, Square Enix. It's just such a opposite end of the spectrum to Dragon Quest, which is much more heroic fantasy. Dragon Quest has dark storylines, but it's generally a more happy, smiley RPG series, even compared to like a Final Fantasy or whatnot. And the demo for Dragon Quest 7 Reimagined is great. It's awesome. That game looks beautiful. It plays really well. It's got some good quality of life. features, battle speed, all that. The way that they've kind of like retooled some of the like systems in that game, uh, I think is nice. Voice acting's really good. I'm having a great time with it, and it's just again only the demo's out, but even just in the demo, the pacing feels a lot faster and smoother. Um, that is a fun video game.
Nice. Anything else, or were you just mainly RPG heavy?
Yeah, that was it. I mean, I always try to get into the games I don't have a lot of time for during break, and those tend to be like the long RPGs, the
Mm-hmm.
ones that I really want to just sit down and grind hours and um,
I
yeah,
feel bad that
those are
like
particular
I
those.
I went into break wanting to play Metroid Prime 4, but like I want
Yeah.
to play Metroid Prime 4 on my TV, and
Hmm.
whenever I was on the TV, the kids were like, "We want to play Pokemon," so it was like they weren't
Yeah.
interested in Metroid. Although I do want to say this before we get to you, David. It warmed my heart. I was just showing them my library, right? And obviously, Tears of the Kingdom is sitting there. And the 6-year-old goes, "What's Zelda?" And I'm like, "Oh boy, here we go,
Here we
kids."
go.
And I'm like, "You want to see Zelda?" They're like, "Yeah." I'm like, "Okay." So I show them Link, and I show them a little bit of the gameplay in Tears of the Kingdom, right? But they're like, "But who's Zelda?" Right? Because like they saw Zelda, they saw the character. They're like, "But who's Zelda?" And I'm like, "Oh." And I asked their dad, I'm like, "Can I just show them the cutscenes?" No, he's like, "Sure." So I just start playing the Tears for them, all the different memories from Tears of the Kingdom. And, it's very Zelda heavy, right?
Yeah.
So the 6-year-old changes her like on her own Switch too. After watching Tears of the Kingdom cutscenes, changes her icon to Zelda. So
Nice.
I have made a Zelda stan out of one of those kids, like instantly, because she's like Zelda, like everything that happens in Tears of the Kingdom, right? I don't want to spoil that game because there's a lot of people out there who haven't played that for some reason. Go play it if you're a Zelda fan, please. At least go watch our videos of the Tears if you want to see the memories at least. But she like saw the story of Tears of the Kingdom, was like, "I love Zelda. I'm Zelda." Like she's like, "I want to be Zelda." It's like, okay, I've done right as the fun
Yeah.
uncle. I thought that was hilarious. She was just like, "Who's Zelda?" And I'm like, "Boy, howdy, am I the perfect person to ask that question?" And yeah, I showed them Breath of the Wild and I showed them Tears of the Kingdom, and I even mentioned Echoes of Wisdom to them, and they were just like, "I like Zelda now." I'm like, "Hell yeah, you do." But yeah. So David, what were you playing over break?
I didn't play a lot. I think this happens to me every year where like in the last 3, 4 months of the year, I like grind out our bus playlist. And so I've played so many games leading up to break that when we take a break, I'm like, I want to do something else. So when we got back, I was like, I didn't know it, but I was right near the end of Pokemon Legends ZA because I was at the A rank battle. And I won't spoil it, but like I did that, and then I realized like, oh, shit's going down with the tower. And so I ended up rolling credits on it. But what I didn't know is that the story continues after that. There are several missions after. And so I'm still working through those, but I really liked the ending to Pokemon Legends ZA. I thought it was very satisfying. I was surprised that a Pokemon game killed a character. Again, no spoilers. Um, but I'm still going through and catching. Got to catch them all. I've been evolving my Pokemon. That's kind of my task now. Like I'll use the last 2 slots of my squad for low level Pokemon, and I'll go to like Wild Zone 20, which just opened up, and do like a ton of night battles or Wild Zone 20, and just evolve them as fast as I can, just because I want to see the different forms.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I really like that game. Was really happy with where it landed on our Game of the Year list and my personal Game of the Year list. And I'm gonna keep playing it. And I'm really excited, Donovan, for next month. I'm excited and curious to see what the Pokemon Company announces.
I'm trying so hard to not let my anticipation run wild, right? Because as a
Yeah,
Pokemon fan, we do this every year where it's like we get to the build and I'm like, all right, what's everything that could happen? And it always ends up being like at best 15% of those things that actually happen. But it's the
yeah.
30th anniversary. If there's ever a year to swing for the fences, right, it'd be this one. I think I've settled it. We're getting Gen 10 announced for this fall. Um, rumors that it's Winds and Waves. It'll be something. It'll be their big proper Switch 2 exclusive, built from the ground up next gen Pokemon game. And then the one that people have been saying since the Switch came out, the old Pokemon games ported to Switch eShop.
Yeah,
it's been like the pie in the sky hope. So maybe this is the time.
So Pokemon Legends has got me back into the franchise, kind of in a big way, Donovan.
Yeah.
I want to rewatch the anime. Is there like is there a proper way to do that?
Yes, definitely is. Yeah. If you mean like just following Ash Ketchum's journey, you start like OG Kanto region, Rock Misty. Yeah. There's definitely a watching order. The question would just be where to watch, because it's a bit disparate at this point.
Yeah.
There's like stuff on Netflix. They had Pokemon TV. I think they discontinued Pokemon TV like quietly over the last couple of years.
There's like a YouTube channel, kind of.
Yeah, there's stuff on YouTube. I'm sure some of it you probably have to like rent or buy from like Apple TV or something. There's not like, I don't think there's one place to watch all of Pokemon.
That seems weird.
Seasons. It's very weird.
That seems like something they could just... There's not many franchises that I think could do this, but like if they just said, here's the Pokemon video app, I think people would subscribe just for that. Like I would.
Yeah, well, that was Pokemon TV. TV was the whole thing where it was like they would put like, but even that they treated like a third-party service where they would like add and remove seasons of the show.
Yeah.
So
they must make a lot of money selling this content that they don't want to make it just subscription based.
They've been tight with Netflix for a few years. I'm sure Netflix pays them just buku bucks for the rights to license the Pokemon anime. I think that's where you would start. I think the Kanto stuff, a lot of that is on Netflix. Because
like I'm on YouTube and like I saw this a clip of like Pikachu and Ash's last battle against Charizard. And I was just like, oh my god, I need to like I just need to go back and watch the whole thing. Because that game, Legends EA, felt like I was in the anime. Like I felt like I was in it. And now I'm like, man, I kind of want to just go back and watch the anime now.
You could go watch some of the X and Y anime, which to me is like one of the better seasons or runs, multiple seasons outside of the original adventure, where they go to, it's Lumio City and it's whole Kalos region, but with like Serena, who's kind of was one of the more popular sidekicks after Misty and Brock stepped out of the picture. That'd be a good season to run back.
But yeah, it's interesting. David and I, in the year of our Lord 2026, are now bigger Pokemon fans than we've been in like, I don't know, 20 years, 25 years, 30 years.
Yeah.
Good year to jump in. We're about to get Pokopia.
Yeah.
That'll be...
Donovan, did you mess with the DLC much in Legends EA?
A little bit. I think I played some more over break. It didn't like hook me in. I didn't beat it. I played a good amount of it. It's a little monotonous.
Yeah.
It's a lot of like run into this place and then there's like a large checklist of items you got to do in a small amount of time. It's just very grindy.
Compared to the actual game, it seems like it's not that interesting.
Yeah, I think lore-wise, I thought it was pretty interesting. I thought I liked the narrative stuff where, not getting into spoilers, but like Corinna's back. She was like a character that was doing Mega Evolution stuff in X and Y. There's cool like character stuff going on. Hoopa is in there as a Pokemon from Sun and Moon that could like create portals to different dimensions. I thought that stuff was all fun, but the actual gameplay of it, I thought it didn't do much for me. I didn't like running around the Mega Dimension areas where it was just like emptier streets and like small city blocks and stuff.
Yeah.
Brought back a lot of old Pokemon, which is fun. You get like Starly and more starter Pokemon and stuff. I like that. They expanded the Pokedex in it. But
yeah,
thought it was kind of whatever.
I just need to go back and I just need to collect all the wild. I didn't finish the Wild Zones. That's kind of where I'm at. Like I'm with you, David. Where like I want to finish the main game before I even fuck with the DLC. But I bought the DLC already, so it's just sitting there waiting for me. But then at the end of the night, I just fire up Ball Pit instead because I am hopelessly addicted to Ball Pit. I can't stop playing it, guys. Like I have a problem.
Oh, awesome! I started this on break, but I didn't finish it until like a week or so ago. And I didn't play it on Switch 2, but I did beat the original Legend of Zelda again.
Yeah.
Which I do like every few years. I still love that game. I still think it holds up really well. I remember the location of like all but one heart container. I got like the blue ring really early, so I was having my damage by the time I was in like level 2. Yeah, I still think it just playing that game reminds me of playing Breath of the Wild, and playing Breath of the Wild reminds me of playing Zelda 1. I love the symbiosis between those games and just the direct influence one had on the other. So
That's the
Zelda
game.
1.
That's the game.
Yeah.
That
Yeah.
when people are like, oh, why do you do any of this? Like, why do you own Shacknews? Why do you care about video games? That's the game.
Yep.
I fell in love with the gold cartridge. Like, that's all I had. Like, I had that game. And I think we had that game and Punch Out for a year. It was like the only two
you didn't
games
have
I
Super
had.
Mario Brothers and Duck Hunt?
I borrowed them, because my friend had an NES before I did, and like I would go to his house and I would play Duck Hunt, and they had like a big TV, so it was like super cool to play Duck Hunt on it. But like, we bought like the base system without the pack in, right? So it was like
the control deck.
Yeah. So like it was like 86 when I got the system, not 85 or whatever. So like I got Zelda. That was like the game I wanted more than anything. And then my brothers wanted Punch Out, so we got Punch Out. And then later on, Tecmo Bowl was like the third game that we got. But it was that era, David, where you're like trading cartridges with people and like borrowing from friends and stuff. So like we borrowed Mario from my friend, and they had, I think they had the Mario Duck Hunt cartridge. So like, but you had to borrow the blaster to play Duck Hunt. So like we didn't do that. So yeah, like I don't know how many hours I have in the original Legend of Zelda, but it is hundreds. And I fucking love that game. I think it's a perfect game. And it's, like you said, it holds up in 2026. Like, it's the first truly open world game, like, ever.
Yeah, like every time I play this game, I always have trouble finding level 2, and it just reminds me of how big the world is that I can't track down one of these dungeons for like an hour or so. And
then you get to like Death Mountain, and you have to go through that, like, the pattern, right? And it's like,
my gosh, yeah.
Figuring that out when you were like 5 years old was impossible.
I had a friend who could only do that with Nintendo Power. Like the very last level, that labyrinth to Ganon.
Yeah.
Could only use Nintendo Power. This time I got like hopelessly lost, but I found my way to the Red Ring, the Silver Arrow, and to Ganon. So I was pretty proud of myself that I didn't have to look anything up.
Yeah. Man, love that game. You're right. It holds up extremely well, and it's, I would say, damn near perfect. That's definitely worth mentioning. We talked about it in the last episode. Like, I want to go back and play The Adventure of Link. Because that's the one Like
I've beaten that one a couple times. I'm debating between that one and I might do Link to the Past again, even though I just did it last year. Like it's Link to the Past. How can you not?
Yeah.
So,
Donovan, have you played any of these?
No. I was super late to Zelda. My first Zelda game was the Breath of the Wild.
I think you would like Zelda 1 because that's, if you know anything about the making of Breath of the Wild, you know that they used Zelda 1 graphics and stuff as like the prototype for it. And so Zelda 1 is basically Breath of the Wild. Like they just throw you in the world. They don't tell you anything. You just have to figure everything out. And it's really fun.
It might have been maybe when the NES classics came up. I think I might have like fired it up and just ran around for like half an hour. So I do want to sit down and play it. I do want to actually sit down and go through them. But I was super late to Zelda. A lot of the Nintendo franchise. As a kid, Pokemon had a pretty firm monopoly on my Nintendo gaming. Coming up during like the Game Boy and DS era.
Your first real console was the GameCube, right? Like,
yeah.
So that was not a. We got Wind Waker, but that wasn't like, the Zelda platform. Zelda, I think, dominated the NES, SNES era. I do think you would like Link to the Past even today. That's a game. That game needs an HD remake, David. Like,
you know what? On that subject, there are more and more rumors swirling that we're getting that Ocarina of Time remake. And if that happens,
I spoke it into existence, damn it. I
think you did.
Nintendo Ninja watching right now, you've been listening to me talk about this for like 3 years now. We're getting a Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time 4K remake built in the Breath of the Wild Tears of the Kingdom engine. It's so fucking obvious. It's definitely happening. You got a Zelda movie next year. What's the best story in the Zelda franchise? It's Ocarina of Time, right?
It
Like,
is.
it's by far, like, and I'm not shitting on the other stories. I think Wind Waker's interesting. I think Link to the Past is really interesting. But, like, Tears of the Kingdom, some people love it, some people don't. I love it. But, like, Ocarina of Time, so, like, if you want people to get hype about the Zelda franchise,
Yeah.
that's what you do. That's what you do.
That's the one.
You take the greatest game of all time and you make it 4K as fuck and you put it on the Switch 2 and step 3 profit. Like, obvious. So obvious.
Yeah.
So fucking obvious. Especially with how well these Switch 2 editions of Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom run. Like,
yeah.
Give me the best game in this engine. Just
we
do it.
got TJ doing a feature on like his first time playing Animal Crossing. Donovan, if you ever get the itch, I would love to hear from you, like your thoughts on like Link to the Past or Breath of the Wild, or not Breath of the Wild, Ocarina of Time. Just as someone who's never played those, because Ocarina of Time is considered by many to be like the greatest game ever made, and it's my favorite game of all time.
Yeah, and that's why you mentioned, you guys talk about like the rumors of a remake. I hope it happens. That's like I've got my fingers crossed, because a modern remake's gonna be my easiest entry to a beloved game. But I do want to go back and play the OG, and if I guess enough time goes by, those are like on the list of games where I'm like, if I ever find myself with an overabundance of free time I need to fill with video games, I'll go back and hit all the best Zelda games. But I need to fit it in there at some point.
But like they already have that Link's Awakening engine and the Echoes of Wisdom engine. Like, give us Link to the Past, guys. Like, what are you doing? Like, that's just sitting there. And
what they did last year, Asif, when they announced multiple Mario games, including like a lot of remasters, re-releases. This is Zelda's 40th anniversary. I'm hoping we get something like that.
Yeah.
Like just bring more Zelda games to Switch 2. That's what I want.
Now, as much as I want them to do these other remakes, leave the gold cartridge alone. That thing's perfect.
Yeah, that game is.
You don't need to do it with that. The other ones, though, I think getting Donovan's generation to experience these other games makes a lot of sense. And yeah, Ocarina of Time, that's like step 3 profit for them. Like, that's just the obvious play going into a Zelda movie, right? Like, they're not going to launch a Zelda movie without a Zelda game.
Yeah.
Like, they're not. Yeah. They're not going to do that. And it's not enough time has passed from Tears of the Kingdom to now to have a new 3D Zelda game. I just don't think they've...
No. We're looking at like 2029, 2030.
I think it's
earliest.
I think it's going to be a while until we get a new 3D Zelda game. But I think Ocarina of Time in the engine would feel new to a lot of people. And it's the perfect... I fucking love that engine. I know Monolith provides a lot of backup support for that. Like, it just seems like that's the fucking thing that's just waiting for them. We forgot to mention these 2 other news stories. I've been talking about this 10-year agreement to bring COD to Switch. Microsoft signed as part of the deal to secure Activision Blizzard regulatory approval in Japan. Well, it appears that Call of Duty in the source code is starting to reference Nintendo Switch 2, Donovan. That's the rumor that we're seeing. The part I've heard is that it's going to be online only and zombies only.
I haven't seen that. I saw that they like it's popped up in the files next to like Sony, Steam, Microsoft, Ubisoft, all that. Yeah, I think the most interesting part of this to me is how do they handle this announcement? Like, is this a Nintendo Direct thing? Is this at the summer Xbox showcase? Obviously, there's like a system in place as to how and when they announce COD now. Like, usually around the spring, they start saying the next Call of Duty experience, the next Call of Duty thing, and then maybe like right before Summer Game Fest / E3, you get like a title reveal. Like this year, we know it's Infinity Ward. The rumors that it's like Modern Warfare 4 or something. So, I mean, there's usually a Nintendo Direct in the early section of the year and then around summertime. So
there's usually a Nintendo Direct in February.
Yes, yeah. So I don't know if it pops up there where they're like, in this year, you can expect. They just put the Infinity Ward logo up and they're like, you can expect the next Call of Duty experience to be on Switch 2. I'm just fascinated to see it running. I just look forward to holding a Switch 2 in my hand and sprinting forward in a Call of Duty game and seeing what that looks like.
Also, how the fuck are you going to fit it on the thing?
Yeah, that too, dude. Because holy moly, file size.
That's an issue. It's a legit issue on the Switch too.
It's like a stoppable force and a very movable object because people complain about COD file sizes on consoles and PCs that have like larger space, and the Switch 2's got the smallest storage to work with out of all of them.
Yeah,
and COD's like the biggest video game on the market, so something's gonna have to give.
To the cloud with Satya Nadella.
Yeah.
I don't know. Well,
but your point about campaign would make sense if they shed that. You know, that's a double-digit gigabytes that they can kind of erase from the equation.
That's what I'm hearing. But also, like, does Warzone come to Switch too?
Gotta be, right. That's like it's the one thing COD can hang its hat on the 21st century, or not 21st century, the 2020s that's done moderately well is Warzone.
And also, while we're at it, I'd like RedSec.
Yeah.
I don't think we're getting that, but I'd like RedSec to be on the Switch too.
I don't think so either.
They got Apex on there, so it's not impossible, but improbable.
Yeah.
At the very least, let's get NHL. EA, can we get NHL on the Switch too? Maybe.
They do build away solid.
Yeah. Bill wants it on PC, but you know, Monkey Paw Curling would be Bill getting it on Switch 2 instead of PC. But yeah, like I'm curious. There's a lot of third parties out there that I think are interested in the Switch 2. The other one out there that I just think would be like hilarious in this year, I think GTA 5 is going to come to Switch 2 this year. This is actually a good time to get into our predictions.
I do too.
I think we're going to get GTA 5 on the Switch 2 this year.
Okay.
That's one of my predictions. But yeah, let's do it officially. What are your guys' Nintendo predictions for the year 2026? Do you guys got any wacky ones? I'll add another wacky one here and there.
I've got two. I'll do one now. I think that Pokemon Pokopia will be a top 2 selling game on the Switch. I think that it is going to absolutely crush and dominate sales. I think we already expect it to do well because it's Pokemon, but I think it's going to be one of those things where like we have high expectations and it exceeds them. I don't know if that'll be in terms of quality, but I think that as long as the game is not broken or like busted to hell when it comes out, if it's a competent Pokemon Animal Crossing game, I think we're going to be looking at a ridiculously high unit sales figure, and it was going to outsell mainline entries and other Nintendo franchises this year.
I like that. David, what do you think?
That's my first prediction.
I think we're going to get our first reveal of the next Mario. It's going to be another year of Mario. We have the movie coming in a few months. I think we're going to at least get a teaser. I don't think it's coming out for a little while yet, but we're going to get a reveal of the next Mario game.
So it's funny you bring that up because, you know, when I was in Japan, the girls saw my extensive Mario catalog, right?
Yes.
Mario Maker, I have Super Mario Wonder, all those lovely games that I have, Mario Odyssey, Mario Galaxy 1 and 2. And they were like, can we see the trailer for the new Mario movie? And I was like, sure. And they're like, who's Rosalina? And I'm like, oh boy, this is perfect, right? I'm like, let me introduce you to Super Mario Galaxy. And they're like, oh my God. Like their minds exploded when they saw. So they're like Rosalina stands and Zelda stands at the same time. And I'm like, boy, 2 princesses I can get behind. But yeah, like Rosalina's a badass in that trailer, right? So like it wouldn't be that crazy to have Rosalina appear in this new Mario game that you're talking about, David. And I think it's Mario Galaxy 3, damn it.
I know you do. I still don't, but I mean, they could do more with Rosalina. I'd love to see Daisy back in action as a princess in a Mario game.
People have been asking about her.
She's kind of like,
yeah.
Before F-Zero 99, I feel like she was in Captain Falcon slot where people only know her from
Smash,
like Smash and
Mario
Kart.
Golf,
or Mario Golf. Yeah, and like I don't know, Daisy is just like this peppy character, and I would just like to see her as the princess in the game. Like still playable. She's playable in Mario Wonder, but you know, in the 3D Mario game, I think that would be cool.
I can tell you, people went crazy over our Elephant Daisy video back when I posted that, you know, however many years ago. So yeah, people do want Daisy. There were people commenting on the Mario Galaxy trailers saying like, they're showing the desert, right? Like she's the princess of Sarasala land or whatever. Like maybe maybe we get Daisy in the movie, and that kind of opens the door to being, some kind of Daisy. But I think with Brie Larson playing Rosalina, like, Nintendo's showing their hand, man. And it's like, there's a game. There's definitely a Mario game coming. And that Mario game's going to feature Rosalina. I'm just saying it.
Mm-hmm.
And I can't... What are the 2 games that she's been in? Gee. Are they Galaxy 1 and 2? They sure are.
They sure are.
3! We're getting Galaxy 3, damn it. That is my prediction. We are getting Galaxy 3. They're going to drop the trailer at the end of the movie.
I'm getting hungrier for tacos the longer you talk, Ozzy.
They drop the trailer at the end of the movie. That's my crazy prediction 1.
Okay.
We'll see that one soon. That we'll have an answer to that one.
Yeah.
First half of the year.
Now, admittedly, our bet on the tacos is that the game ships before the end of 2027. So I have time for the game to ship. But if they announce like Super Mario Universe, I don't win the bet. Yeah. You win the bet.
Right.
I want to make that abundantly clear. But we're getting Galaxy 3, damn it. I'm saying it right now. I will speak it into existence. Ocarina of Time 4K remake, Galaxy 3. Those are my 2.
Let's go.
I'm calling my shot right now. Nintendo Ninja, you heard me. Doug Bowser, you're still watching. You're nodding approvingly, I'm sure. Donovan, what's your other prediction?
Allow me to set the scene. It's September, right? We're at the tail end of the year. We're like, all right, this is going to be the last Nintendo Direct of 2026. What are they going to show us? We get a bunch of cool announcements, and at the end, they do as they always do. We have one more thing to announce today. And we're in an arena, and we see people are fighting. And we quickly realize that these are ARMS characters. You see Min Min, Twin Pell, Ninjara all fighting. And everyone's like, wow, ARMS is the one last thing. We're all laughing in the Discord call. People are tweeting. They're like, they're really going to do ARMS as their one more thing. But then the sky begins to turn dark, and everyone looks up. And as the moon eclipses over the sun, you see the Super Smash Bros. Logo. And then we cut to a highlight reel of characters you've never seen in Smash Bros. Waluigi, Waddle Dee, all these characters fighting on some arena up in space. And then dramatic music, cut to black. Super Smash Bros. 6, subtitle, directed by Masahiro Sakurai, 2027. Direct ends. Boom.
Damn.
That's it.
I agree.
I can
Super
see
Smash
it.
Bros. It'll be the one more thing announced for 2027 broad window at the very end of this year.
I 100% agree. We were chatting in general. Denny was like, what's a game that you think would get people to buy the Switch 2? Like, what are people holding out for? Smash is one of those games.
Yeah. That is a system mover, if there ever was one.
I like it. I think that's very, very likely.
Yeah, I could see it. I also wonder, though, because it's a system mover, do they want it out so soon in the Switch's lifespan? Like within the first 2 years? Like, do they want to save that for year 3 or 4? Because they have more coming, obviously. Zelda's a system mover, too, but Smash is going to just...
Well, technically, if what Donovan's saying, it would be a year 3 game.
Oh, that's true. That's true.
Yeah, I think it's one where they announce it for 2027. It could literally release November to December, maybe December, like Smash Ultimate did, right? The very end of 2027. I think your point, David, about them wanting to get it out early is true, but I think it's also it's going to be a push and pull between how soon Nintendo wants it and how soon HAL Labs and Sakurai can deliver it, right?
And Bandai.
Sakurai, somebody in Bandai Namco, they're going to let him cook. But I could see them... And Nintendo's usually good about announcing stuff within a reasonable timeline. I think if there's one game that they kind of bite on and announce maybe 14, 16, 18 months before it comes out, I think it's Smash 6. If they want to really hook people in the Switch.
Because then they can do that whole cadence of like the character reveal trailers, right? And then that becomes part of the directs, right? Oh shit, there's a new character reveal in this direct. There's another character reveal. Oh, Sakurai's going to do a stream of a character, right? Like, it becomes like that marketing campaign. It's one of the few Nintendo games that can have an 18-month run-up, I think, to its release. It's like one of the few.
That's true.
So I think that makes sense. And to Donovan's point, it would be a year 3 game, David. It would be kind of late year 3. I agree with what you're saying. They don't want to dump all that stuff on the table now. But, like, I have another prediction.
Okay.
This is the year. We're getting an F-Zero game this year. It's happening.
Launching this year.
Yes. We're finally getting a new F-Zero game. No.
Now, what do you mean finally? Because you just got one 2 years ago.
I mean a new high-fidelity graphics, high-performance F-Zero racing game. I don't mean an online-only game, and I love F-Zero 99. I'm not saying F-Zero 99 bad, I need new game. No. I'm saying, like I mentioned this last episode, there's Tetris 99 and there's Tetris Effect. I'm talking about a F-Zero game the quality of Tetris Effect, with a ton of love and care put into it, but also something that highlights what the Switch 2 can do. 120 frames per second gameplay, online capabilities, maybe a cool story mode like, F-Zero GX kind of had. Like, take all the learnings you have from Mario Kart World and from Kirby Air Riders and from F-Zero 99 and you make a new F-Zero game. This is the year. We're finally getting a new F-Zero game. And I know I say this every year, and I'll say it next year if it doesn't happen, but I will speak this into existence. We are getting a new console franchise release in the F-Zero series. And it'll be a high-fidelity, high-speed racing game. Because Mario Kart World sold over 10 million units already. It seems like Kirby Air Riders is actually doing better than some people expected, especially in Japan. Sonic Racing Crossworlds did very well last year for Sega. Like, racing games are back, man. And it's time. It's time. Mm-hmm. That's the kind of year 2 game where you don't need, for it to be a success, you don't need it to sell 10 million units. Like, 3 million units of an F-Zero game, 1 million units of an F-Zero game would be huge, right?
Yeah.
I'm not going to set the scene or anything like Donovan did, but, I think they're going to announce an F-Zero game this year. I know. Okay. I sound like a broken record.
Do you think that it comes with any, interesting gimmick or, unexpected angle? Is there anything, maybe the setting, presentation, characters,
Make it Burnout Paradise, but F-Zero.
Now we're talking.
Yeah, I'd like that.
Right? Rival races, deathmatch races. You could do so much if you took that kernel of what Mario Kart World got right in Free Roam and you applied it to the F-Zero universe with the rival mechanics and the bounty hunters and the stories that are around those characters in the manga. There is a lot that you could do with a single player focused F-Zero experience that's open world-ish kind of experience, but a Burnout Paradise style. Here's these races, an open world with race challenges, head-to-head challenges, takedown challenges. There's so many things you could do. So yes, I think that would be the hook, is that it's this F-Zero world, right? That you could universe, whatever you want to call it. But I think that would be the gimmick. And I don't think it would be a lame gimmick. I think it could be cool. But yes, 120 FPS at 1080p in handheld and docked, and then 4K 60. But this system deserves a high fidelity racing game set in the future. It's time. Yeah. If this really is the analog to the Super Nintendo, it's time. It's very much time for an F-Zero game.
I like it.
But yes, I have made my case. Nintendo ninjas, get to work. David, do you have any other predictions?
I think we get this isn't too crazy, but I think we get at least Twilight Princess HD this year, because that's something they could add to the GameCube app as well, since that game did ship on GameCube. But I don't know, those HD editions of Zelda are still marooned. You know what? For a wild one, I'll say it. I think they're going to announce the Ocarina of Time remake this year. I think they'll announce it.
Ooh.
I think that might be the one more thing at the September event.
Yeah. That also. Yeah.
Instead of you save Smash for next year, but that we got the Zelda movie coming out in May of 2027.
Yes.
They need to start that hype train. I don't know if we necessarily get Ocarina of Time this year, but it gets announced this year, I think is reasonable. And you're right, it's the 40th anniversary. It's weird, David, because they carried the Mario 40th into this year. Like, I don't know if you saw the, there was I can't remember what trailer dropped recently. The Mario Tennis trailer. That overview trailer, it started with the Mario 40th bumper. So, like, they're carrying the Mario 40th into this year, David. So, like, I could see them carry the Zelda 40th into next year, kind of thing.
Yeah.
But yes, like, more Zelda games. We need more Zelda games. We need. But I think this is. I think this is the year where Nintendo reaches into the bag and gives us some fucking random games like Pushmo. And I know not many people care about Pushmo, but I think Pushmo is like one of the best puzzle games like out there. It would be cool to see something like that. It's also not a big, huge scope game, right? Like I know we're getting Tomodachi this year. We're getting Rhythm Heaven this year on the original Switch and the Switch 2. But like some smaller games, I keep coming back to Ice Climber. Here's my last Nintendo prediction. The Mario Galaxy movie will set records for best video game adaptation theatrical release ever.
Thinking like box office or critically?
Box office.
Yeah,
I do not think critics matter in film anymore. Like, I feel that way about video games too, but like, do you think Hollow Knight cared about their Metacritic? Like, no.
Probably not.
I don't think the Mario movie 1 cared about their Metacritic either, and it kind of got shit on by critics early. Not universally, but a lot of people were like, oh, blah, 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 Seth Rogen laugh, whatever. But yeah, I don't think critically matters to them, but I'm talking box office, because that's the high score, right? That these companies are after. So I predict that the Mario movie, the Mario Galaxy movie will set records at the box office.
Yeah.
And I don't know. The movie theater I saw it in is gone, David. It's been torn down to the ground. So I don't know where I'm going to watch this next movie. We don't have a Regal Cinema off the highway anymore. It's gone.
Yeah. Maybe, I guess it'd be Tinseltown, wouldn't it?
I don't know if they
rent out a theater.
I want to rent out a theater again. I might have to do the Regal in Maslin. I think we still have a Regal.
Oh, yeah, okay.
I think we have a Regal Cinema in Maslin still for now. Yeah. Hopefully. Is Regal still in business, Donovan? Like, are they still around?
Technically, yes. They're holding on by a thread. I believe their parent company, which is across the pond, filed for some sort of bankruptcy thing a couple years ago, and they closed a bunch of locations, but they're still kicking where they are. They closed the one in my hometown a few years ago.
Yeah, we have one in Hudson, Ohio, one in Maslin, and one in Independence, David. So those are our options. But oddly enough, Cinemark, that Bistro one, is still listed.
Cinemark is a good place to see a movie. I like Cinemark theaters.
It's like the only option other than AMC now, Donovan. It's like you have three options. You got Regal, Cinemark, or AMC. And I don't think we have an AMC in town, David. I don't think we have a single one.
No, we don't.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, we're a struggling old town here in Canton, man. We don't have all those. We don't have an Alamo Draft House, like.
No, we don't.
We don't have fancy lean back chairs, except at the Cinemark Bistro. I think those seats are actually quite good. But yeah, I don't know. Maybe I'll just get invited to the Mario movie premiere instead, and I won't have to worry about this.
There you go.
Yeah.
Please, Devin Pritchard, please hear my calls. It's begun. I've started referring to the new president of Nintendo of America. I hear she likes Animal Crossing, so I hope we see her this week, because Animal Crossing's getting that 3.0 update. Do you want to mention that before we go? We'll talk about it more next episode, but all three of us are pretty excited about it. We're going to be streaming it here on Shacknews platforms. We'll have vertical videos, all sorts of stuff. I'm most excited about being able to put trees in my inventory. I know it sounds stupid, but I have a lot of stupid trees on my island right now, and I don't want to chop them down because it's a part of my economy, but I do want to get the 5-star rating. So
yeah, that's true.
Have you gotten the 5 stars?
Of course. What are you talking about?
I haven't. Isabel's like, you have too many trees. People get lost on your island all the time. I'm like, it's part of the economy, damn it.
Funny. Yeah.
I'm like, I won't cut them down, but I will put them in storage if I can game the system to get a 5 out of 5 score.
Yeah.
And yeah, if anyone needs bells, hit me up. I still have like 80-some million.
I was thinking of dropping in on TJ's island and hooking him up with some money.
Yeah.
Just to help.
Yeah, I was going to message him and be like, hey, dude, if you need to progress, like, here you go. Here's 1 million bells. Have at it.
Yeah.
That's good.
I've done that to a few of my friends. I just, like, show up on their island with, like, my inventory is just cash, and I just drop it on their beach, and I'm like, see ya.
Yep.
But yeah, I succeeded at the turnip game back in the turnip gold rush of the early 2020s.
That's right.
But yeah. That'll do it. We did it. First show of the year, episode 32. We're going to be recording these on Tuesdays this year, so hopefully they'll be going up on Wednesdays. So if people are curious about the cadence of the show, I was sick last week, so I couldn't really... I was not going to be able to make it through a whole episode last week. This week, my voice did survive. Shout out to my DoorDasher who did deliver green tea before this. But yeah, we'll be back with another episode next week with our Animal Crossing impressions. Maybe Nintendo stock will have crashed again, because that seems to be a trend. At the current pace that it's going, Nintendo will be out of business by the end of this year, if you believe the trajectory of the stock price. So, RIP, doomed since 1889. But if not, if Nintendo goes bankrupt, we'll still do this podcast because the Switch 2 will still be around. I don't think Nintendo's gonna go bankrupt though. I'm just gonna go out on a limb, say I don't think that's gonna happen.
I don't think so.
But yeah, just one last. Oh, you know what? I have one last thing, guys. I do want to mention this before we go, and it has my F-Zero heart filled. I finally played F-Zero AX. The arcade version of F-Zero GX. I tracked it down. There was one arcade cabinet in all of Tokyo that was functioning, and I found it. It's in this place called Ikebukuro, which is not like this hot gaming area. Like, it's not the Akihabara place. It's not these other areas in Tokyo that you would go to. I went to like this random town, to a random arcade, where in the basement there's a bunch of old Japanese men smoking cigarettes and playing pachinko machines. So it was just like fucking weird. But on the first floor, in the corner, I played F-Zero AX, guys. It's awesome. It has like a yoke for the controller. So like, you know how you can pull up and push down when you're landing and flying in F-Zero? You can do that with the controller. It had a boost on your thumb. It had the paddles for, the drifting when you turn. It felt awesome. I can barely fit in it. I am a very large man, and I could barely fit in that thing. I was like, my knees were not doing great being in that. So if I ever buy one of these, I am going to have to customize it to make it a little bit better for me. It has these speakers in the seat, which is really cool. It had all this unique music specific to the F-Zero AX release. The presentation was great. It was very similar to F-Zero GX, but different. The tracks were not the same, but you had like a Mute City, you had like a Big Blue, you had a Port Town, but they were not like the F-Zero GX tracks, so they were different. They had a time trial and like a regular kind of Grand Prix kind of race that you could do. I loved it. It was super cool. And it was just like one of those like checkmark moments for me as a gamer. Like, I finally got to play this thing. There aren't many of them left in the world. And I was just happy like I was able to track it down. I actually have some video of it, so maybe I'll post a video of what I got to try out there. But yeah, I fucking loved it. If it's like a bucket list thing for me to own one of those cabinets now. So like in the future, I may buy an F-Zero AX cabinet, but I would have to modify it to make it like playable. Or I'd have to buy like the standing version of it. That's the other thing. It had like actual pedals. So like you're accelerating with a pedal, you're like turning with an actual control, like a yoke. It's very cool. So yeah, I do want to mention that before I go. Japan's really fucking cool. And it's heaven for nerds and heaven for video game fans specifically. So yeah, I was excited that I got to try out that. I guess I should shout out the arcade specifically.
Yeah,
they deserve some love. And yeah, shout out to the F-Zero community just in general for like there's like a subreddit for F-Zero, and inside of that they had this like list of here's all the functioning cabinets. Like someone made like a Google Doc tracking all of them. So I appreciate that I was able to find it. And I think that it's just cool that the community's still doing stuff like that. Sorry, let me just get this before we go. I have a lot of memes saved here. Here we go.
Gotcha.
It is called the Mikado Game Center in Ikebukuro. And it was like 100 yen to play, which is like, around 75 cents or something for one play. And it's just 100 yen to play one race, basically. But you could do time trials, and you could do like the against everyone else kind of thing. It's fun. And you can do all the moves. Like you can do like the spin attacks, and everything is... The gameplay is very similar to GX. It's just different tracks, different songs, slightly different presentation. And it ran extremely well. Oh, the other thing I thought was interesting, it had this branding on it, David, called Triforce.
Oh.
And it was underneath it says it's Triforce. Namco, Sega, Nintendo. I was just like, what is this?
Wow.
I was just like, man, that's like world peace right there. But
yeah,
Triforce was like the brand that made the cabinet. And I was like, that's dope. I wish there were more Triforce cabinets out there. But yeah, just wanted to shout out F-Zero Twitter and F-Zero Reddit for pointing me to the right direction. And like, it just felt cool. Like I went to this place and like you go in there and I'm like, oh man, there's no way it's not going to be in here. It's probably wrong. And no, it's there and it's functioning. So yeah, if you're in Tokyo, it's like 25 minutes away from Tokyo Station. It was worth the trip though. I played like for an hour and just had a giant grin on my face. Yeah. But yeah, that'll do it for the show. Like, follow, and subscribe. We'll be back next week. Thanks everyone who watched last year. I saw like over break people were watching our old episodes, so it seems like people enjoy this show. We're back for another year. We got all sorts of great content that's going to be at shacknews.com. So yeah, we're back. We got all sorts of cool stuff. We got a bunch of CES stuff still hitting our channel. But we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.